Hey guys, welcome back for another video. It's the football guy here, and today we're going to be covering the top 10 running backs of the 2022 NFL Draft. For each attribute, you'll see a grade of 1 through 5, 1 being very poor and 5 being great, 3 being average. Now that is how the player will translate to the NFL level with that particular trait or ability. On each player profile, you'll also see a color-coded overall grade. This overall grade is on a scale of 0 to 100. And as you can see, pulled up on the screen right there, you got the Hall of Fame level guys, 95 and up. 90 through 95, you have All-Pro level. 85 through 89, long-time NFL starter. 80 through 84, solid NFL starter. The guys color-coded in green are typically your first and second round picks. Guys in yellow are your third, fourth, and fifth round picks. Guys in red are guys that should be attained no earlier than late 6th, early 7th round player. And the guys that are colored in gray obviously should be free agents or not even picked up. Coming in at number 10 on the list is Hassan Haskins out of Michigan. What he does well is his physical run style and his ability to maintain his balance after running through would-be tacklers. He's patient when finding a hole, but he struggles with his overall athleticism and his ability to make people miss in space. Because of this, his ideal fit is a downhill run team where he's likely to only be a short-term 53-man roster type of guy. Now coming in at number 9 is Breece Hall out of Iowa State. He does have a lot of patience when running the football, and he has a strong burst when breaking through the line of scrimmage. He does display a lack of effort and physicality at times, and sometimes a liability in the pass game as well, which is why his best fit will be for a stretch zone scheme, but his ceiling is a special teams and a positional backup. Coming in at number 8 on the list is Rachaad White out of Arizona State. After evaluating Rachaad's tape, he could be a dynamic threat in the passing game coming out of the backfield. He does have pretty good athleticism, and with that athleticism will give him the opportunity to perform well on special teams. Now he does struggle with his physicality as well as his vision and his balance when breaking tackles. And last but not least, he does struggle to make people miss consistently in space, which is definitely a problem being a running back in the NFL. At 7, we have national championship running back Zamir White out of Georgia. Zamir White is average in a lot of categories, which for an NFL running back, that could create a long career just being good at a lot of things. But one thing he does struggle at is being able to run routes and catch the ball. He's not much of a receiving threat out of the backfield, which could be a problem. But what he does show is the ability and intention to throw some pretty good blocks while protecting the quarterback. He can be on the core special teams as well as be someone's reserve running back. At number 6, we have his teammate James Cook. After watching Cook's film, it's clear that he's a very twitchy guy, and he is a receiving threat out of the backfield, and that's why him and Zamir White complemented each other very well out of college. Something he did struggle with was his physicality. Being an SEC running back, he wasn't a very physical guy at finishing runs. But I do see him projecting well in the NFL as a change of pace back or a gadget running back. It reminds me a lot of James White from the Patriots. At number 5, we have Kyren Williams out of Notre Dame. It was tough evaluating his film this year because of some of the O-line struggles that he had, but he did show a lot of ability and I think could have the biggest upside of any running back in this draft. One thing that really stood out to me on film was his ability to contribute in all phases of the pass game, such as pass protection, route running, and catching the ball out of the back. And with that, he's also a pretty good athlete, which will contribute well to special teams. And really the only places I seen him struggle at was his physicality and his ball security. I feel like he can make a long career in the NFL as a third down back, and he reminds me a lot of Giovanni Bernard. At number 4, we have Heisman finalist Kenneth Walker III from Michigan State. Walker has good athleticism paired with great vision for a running back, good balance and patience as well. He is pretty physical for his size, being 5'10", 210. It's not really going to run through many NFL linebackers, but he does bring that extra boom and tries to finish. What stood out to me on film was that vision and his lateral movement to be able to find and hit gaps. Because of this, I feel like he'll fit very well in a zone scheme and be a good two-down starting back where they could sub somebody else in for the passing. Starting the top three, you got Brian Robinson out of Alabama. Brian Robinson is a bigger back and he used that big frame to his advantage. He's a very physical runner and a very patient runner. Because of this, I feel like he'll be good in a gap scheme because he does struggle with his visions, but with pin and pull blocks, you could kind of just run behind that lead blocker. He is good at blocking himself and pretty decent in the passing game, which I feel like makes him great for being a full-time running back. Like I evaluated him as a every down back in a gap scheme. And I feel like this is very attractive to teams. That way they can have a consistent dude back there and it doesn't create tendencies for other teams to scout. At number 2, we have Dameon Pierce out of Florida. Pierce has done a great job the past 2 years of creating for himself. Watching the film, he's had a struggling goal line and had a bunch of guys get to him in the backfield in a hurry. What Dameon Pierce did show me on film after creating for himself was that he's pretty much a complete player. The only phase of the game he struggles in is his long speed, which can take away from some of the bigger plays that he can make, but he has good quickness, great physicality, and is very good in the passing game. Also, he's a very relentless player. He does fight for every extra yard that he can get, and because of that, I think he'll be a great NFL back. At number 1 is Isaiah Spiller from Texas A&M. Spiller's film reminded me of TJ Yeldon out of Alabama. I got Spiller at the number 1 spot because he has the highest floor of any running back in this year's draft, and I think he has one of the highest ceilings. He's kind of a bigger guy, and I feel like he has great athleticism in a phone booth, being able to move side to side and get a good burst after making. Spiller has good vision along with great patience, which makes him a very good running back because having that vision and patience allows for him to set up his blockers to create seams into the defense and use his burst to exploit those seams and make big plays for his team. Lastly, Spiller showed that he was pretty average in the passing game, which means he can be effective and is not a complete liability out there like some running backs are. Again, here's a recap of the top 10 backs, 1 and 2 being Isaiah Spiller and Dameon Pierce, 3 and 4 being Brian Robinson, Kenneth Walker III, 5 and 6 Kyren Williams, James Cook, 7 and 8 Zamir White, Rashard White, 9 Breece Hall, and 10 Hassan Haskins. Thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned as the receivers top 10 video of the 2022 NFL Draft will be dropping this week as well. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notification bell as well. Thank you.